Hey, it's Shawn Casemore here, and I want to thank you for joining me in another one of our episodes on how to get new customers now. I was working with a coaching client just last week, and they were struggling a bit with selling. Now, of course, we're amidst still some restrictions around this pandemic, so you might think, okay, Shawn, that must be the reason why. Well, it is and it isn't. I had walked them through an exercise that I shared on a previous video, right? The 3 steps to selling during a pandemic. So if you haven't seen that, make sure you check it out. But that said, what we did is we had worked through that exercise, but they were still stalled a bit. So they had opportunities in front of them, but they weren't seeing a lot of results. So when we took a look and kind of dug into what they were doing, one thing struck me that I hadn't mentioned and that I wanted to reinforce with this client of mine. So here's what I told them, right? Sales is a numbers game. Everything about sales is numbers. If you like math, you're going to like sales. Of course, you have to be able to get along with people and enjoy people, right? That's kind of fundamental as well. But sales is really a numbers game. Let me give you some examples. There is always an erosion of customers in every business, every kind of business, right? Customers close their doors, owners retire, some go out of business for economic reasons, some find different suppliers, right? Those things are constantly happening. So even if you have a customer base, there's a constant slow erosion to that customer base. So the goal is to fill the top of that, right? Find some new potential prospective customers, convert them into customers, and try and retain them for as long as possible. Now, that said, notice the numbers, notice the math, right? So the math is I need to constantly be filling up my funnel, my pipeline, whatever you want to call it, with prospective customers that I can then convert, right? So how do you do that? Well, again, it's a numbers game. It's all about how many people can you make contact with, because at the end of the day, not everybody's going to want to buy from you. You know, when I sold cars, it was very interesting. In the beginning stages, I recall I didn't know what I was really doing, but people would come onto the car lot. I would discuss them a little bit, usually have a good chat, good discussion, and then they would leave. The odd one would come into my office, but probably 60–80% of them would leave. So then I would go back to my office and kind of be bummed out. Oh my gosh, I didn't sell a car. I assumed that every time I met somebody, I needed to sell a car. But after I was there for 3 months, maybe 4, I started to obviously learn a little more about how to move them from the lot to my office and look at options. And I had started to sell more cars for when people arrive, because people are typically arriving because they're looking for a car, right? They're not necessarily there to kill time, although some are. So nonetheless, I was getting better at closing. But all of a sudden, my business, about month number 5, exploded, because a lot of the people I had talked to early on started to come back. They had met with other car salesmen, apparently, and had not had such a good experience, because I'm not a high-pressure sales kind of person, and they started to come back to me to buy. I remember one Saturday, I had a line of people waiting to buy from me. I was there late signing deals, not trying to close, just closing deals, and everybody else was waiting around. So the interesting thing about sales is it's how many people can I connect with today? And once I connect with them, am I offering something of value? Do I understand their world? Can I offer something of value, and how I can help? Am I building that trust and rapport around the relationship, right? All those things have to be there. But it really is how many people can I connect with today to do those things? Because not everybody's going to want to work with me, period. Not everybody's going to want to buy from me today. And not everybody's going to want to buy from me in the next 2 weeks, 3 months, 6 months, right? So if you connect with people on a consistent basis, you will always have people closing today, closing tomorrow, closing next month, closing in 3 months. But as soon as you stop that activity, as soon as you no longer treat sales like a numbers game and just stop connecting with people, you create a void, right? So if there's a lesson to be learned for this client that I was coaching and I wanted to share with you today, is that sales is really a numbers game, and as soon as you stop playing the numbers, you create a void. What does that mean? You will have a period of time with no sales, because you'll lose a customer through erosion, and in essence, you won't have somebody to fill that spot. So what can you do? Very, very simple. Number 1, set goals and targets for yourself. I've got down below a link to my sales action planner you can use to set up your goals. Number 2, measure your progress. How did I do today? How did I do this week? How did I do this month? Did I make the calls I was going to make? Did I close as many deals as I thought I would? And then number 3, adjust and repeat, right? Make adjustments to what you're doing. So if something's not working, adjust it, but then go back to the beginning, set some new goals, measure your progress, right? It just becomes very, very repetitive, but the more you do this, the better you'll get and the more results you'll see. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. As always, I release at least 2 new videos every single week with tips just like this, meant for business owners, entrepreneurs, even sales leaders. So subscribe. There's a button down in the corner that you can subscribe to make sure you get notified every time a new video comes out. Appreciate your time as always. Hit me up at www.theuenetwork.com if you'd like more tips, resources, and ideas around how to get more customers, how to grow your sales and grow your business. As always, it's Shawn Casemore here. I hope you have a great day, a great week. Play the numbers, and we'll talk to you again soon. Take care.